Yesterday's very dramatic events involving a controversial Kenyan character called Maina Njenga has excited those in Azimio and puzzled others and enraged UDA. Now it seems many of us don't understand who Maina Njenga is. And unfortunately, it seems that decision makers within UDA also don't understand who Maina Njenga is. Okay? Now shortly, I will play you a clip from an old video of mine where I explain a few things about Maina Njenga. But before that, I need to give you a little more information. In the run-up to the 2022 presidential elections, Azimio made a deal with Maina Njenga. In fact, to be precise, Raila Amolo Odinga made a deal with Maina Njenga to campaign for him within the Mount Kenya region. Okay? Now, very super fascinating. At the same time, William Samoei Ruto and UDA were eager to recruit Maina Njenga amongst the ranks. Okay? And it seems that Maina Njenga did not say no. Yeah? Neither did he say yes. And the whole drama culminated with a Ruto rally in Laikipia that went very wrong. I'm sure most of us can't remember that one. And so for those who understand the character of decision making within UDA so far, you will be forgiven for suspecting this is yet another case of revenge without looking at the political consequences. Because you see, Maina Njenga is a political force that you don't joke around with. That is the reality. And there's something else. The best way of dealing with Maina Njenga is to ignore him. Because the moment you confront him, unachokoza. Yeah? You stir up the bees. And you don't want to do that. Now I'm sure with all that information, there's much more light being shed as far as you're concerned about the drama of yesterday and Maina Njenga, the DCI, and people demonstrating, etc., etc. Now just listen in. I'll be back in a bit. These Kenyans who are shocked cannot even begin to understand the character of the men involved. The character of Maina Njenga. The character of William Samoei Ruto. The character of Eden Duale, who appeared on a TV talk show to speak about what happened in Laikipia. And to accuse one person and one person alone for being responsible. Wow. And it's going to get worse as we draw closer to the general elections. You know, I remember in the days of my political lecturer, I would come and give him an analysis that I thought was very smart, very clever. And then he'd just look at me and ask me, what is the history? What is the geography here? I was young in those days. And you know the young. In fact, the Chinese have a very good proverb, sarcastic one. Ask the young, ask the youth. They know everything. And so I would find this question from my political lecturer annoying, a waste of time, wasting our time to get to the nitty-gritty of the issue. And so I understand Kenyans. I was there. I understand young Kenyans. Somebody is 20-something and is trying to predict the outcome of the next general elections. By the way, I have nothing against somebody being young. It's good. Now, jana ni majimoto. Enjoy it while it lasts. But be careful to gather something to assist you in your later years. Gather wisdom. Wisdom is better than money. Wisdom will help you where your money cannot help you. What is the character of Maina Njenga? And today I'm going to be very blunt. Maina Njenga is a mobilizer. Maina Njenga, when he was in school,
used to predict what the news bulletin would contain. Yeah. The 1 o'clock news, well in advance. And I'm not talking about the first item, because in those days the first item everybody knew, everybody could predict. Mtukufu Rais Daniel Arap Moi leo alisema. Yes, that was the first item. I'm not talking about that. The other items, he could predict them very accurately. So the question that comes to mind is, what powers was he using? I don't know, but I can tell you they are not biblical powers. They are not powers from Almighty God. Because as you may know, there are only two powers on this earth. So jijazie. Maina Njenga's Mungiki used to do very evil things. But to be fair to the man, we know that later on, he converted to Christianity. Indeed, we were told he's born again. And to be brutally honest, we're yet to see the fruits of his conversion. Yeah, and therefore we must stick to what we already know about this man's character. We also know that the driving force in Maina Njenga's life right now is to become the next senator of Laikipia. Now, from all that information, bottom line, anybody in Laikipia who tries to do anything that is against Maina Njenga's objectives, the result is very predictable. They'll be booed. They'll be heckled. They will not be allowed to proceed. Pure and simple. The character of a man. We also know that William Samoei Ruto, our deputy president, and a candidate for the presidency in 2022, has a temper that is the stuff of legend. Now, the Swahili have a saying, hasira hasara. The problem with having a temper if you're a leader is that you can do things, make decisions, in your rage, that you will come to regret later. Make decisions that will destroy people because you have power, you're a leader. That is a fact. And we all know that some people online have been trying to make a very big deal of the deputy president losing his temper. In my opinion, he didn't lose his temper. He just came close. Because when you see the deputy president having lost his temper, you will know what I'm talking about. And so, in my opinion, absolutely no surprises from Laikipia. And we should expect this trend to continue. However, politically, the deputy president has exposed himself as somebody who does not plan ahead and somebody who does not think through what he wants to do. Because the deputy president has all this information I've just given you. He knows the terrain in Laikipia. He knows Maina Njenga. Why waste his time and funds going to Laikipia? Doesn't make sense. Laikipia is not one of the 2 counties in the nation called Kenya. It's not even one in the 5 counties of the nation called Kenya. We have many counties. There are many places you could have gone to. Indeed, it is not even one of 2 counties in the Mount Kenya region. We have a handful of counties in Mount Kenya, if his interest was Mount Kenya. And I have a feeling he was expecting that kind of reaction, which even deepens the mystery further. Why go there? When you know there'll be a confrontation. Why? To prove that you're brave? To prove that autishiki? Doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry. Unless you educate me, please, in the comments area below. Yeah, because I'm always learning. And I'm always open to learning. Yeah, educate me. Why would you want to go to Laikipia? For what? Now I can hear somebody telling me, Chris, you're not saying how Raila is evil. Yeah, because he's the one who recruited Maina Njenga to work for him in Mount Kenya. So he's also evil. talk about the character of Raila Odinga. Okay, I shall do that. Raila Odinga is a politician, very experienced politician. And in politics, you have to respond to what your opponents are doing. What did Team Tangatanga do in Githurai 46 to Raila Odinga? Do you remember that incident? Raila Odinga was heckled. He was even stoned. Yeah, people threw stones at him. Or rather at his motorcade. Please, we agreed to be totally honest. Yeah, so let's say it as it is. So if you're Raila Odinga, what would you have done in response? Go and complain? Call a press conference to complain? Cry foul? Say, oh, the deputy president is using dirty tricks. Is that what you'd have done? No. This is politics. It's not a game for boys. It's a game for men, real men. So you find a way to respond. And you respond in a way that will be effective. So you have Maina Njenga on your side. And at least you know that Maina Njenga is not going to throw stones at anybody. That is the reality of politics. And by the way Team Tangatanga works, they work on per contract basis. So what that means, in the Githurai incident, they landed on the ground, money was distributed, the job was done. In sharp contrast to Raila Odinga's long-term approach, you have your people on the ground permanently. Yeah? So the situation remains the way you want it, permanently. You don't have to land in advance every week and distribute money to people. And you know, there's a very important point here that Kenyans have completely missed. When you have one dirty player on the political scene, then you expect the violence and the dirty politics will escalate. Because when one side does something, the other side has no option but to respond. They can't just do nothing. And so this thing started with Team Tangatanga. They're the ones who started this kind of politics. Organizing people to heckle somebody. Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. And so what I'm saying, things are going to get worse. The violence in our politics is going to escalate. That is the bad news. That is the reality. Even as you want to cheer the side you favor, the side you want to win, if you could step back for a minute, try and get the big picture. That is the bad news that will affect all of us.
There you have it. I believe with that information, you're no longer puzzled. You're no longer in the dark. And going forward, whatever happens, you will completely understand what is going on here. Bottom line, it is not a good thing that is going on here for motherland Kenya. Azimio supporters may not agree with me, but that is my opinion. Allow me to give you a heads up. Weekly Intelligence Briefings number 108 is out. And I can't even describe it. Moto kuliko pasi ya makaa. It is beyond that. Okay? In this particular issue of WIB, I cover a highly sensitive topic. Political assassinations. Okay? And there's one unfolding in our country right now, believe it or not. Find out in my latest WIB. You can see the details on your screens right now. Take advantage of this very latest special offer. It is also super fascinating that this latest effort, kumaliza kabisa, is very similar to yet another political assassination that happened some time back, that of Mutula Kilonzo Sr. Okay, those who have taken in my ebook on that topic, very comprehensive, describing the most high-tech political assassination in the history of Kenya. that of Mtula Kilonzo Sr. will know what I mean. By the way, you can get hold of that ebook. Details on your screens, in case you've not seen it, because I refer to it in WIB number 108. And it might not be very easy for you to understand even the trends that have been unfolding in our country since 2013. It might not be easy for you to understand and put everything together without the information from this ebook that I did in 2013. Until next time, this is Kshs. Kumekucha.